The movie begins 2 years after the first Deadpool film. We see Deadpool sitting in his house looking at a small model of Logan. As he moves around, he breaks various items, eats some bread, and eventually heads to a cylinder. He lies down and throws a lit cigarette into the cylinder, causing a massive explosion that tears him apart. Through Deadpool's narration, we learn that he attempted suicide, and he takes us back to the events leading up to this moment. We are transported to Tokyo, where Deadpool jumps into a building and starts attacking the mafia members inside. A chaotic fight ensues, with Deadpool shooting and killing most of them. Some of the mafia members fight back with swords and guns, but Deadpool prevails. One mafia member manages to escape, but Deadpool decides not to chase him because he needs to make it home for his anniversary. He gets into Dopinder's taxi, and they head back to Deadpool's house. Wade is thrilled to reunite with Vanessa, and they start planning their future together, even discussing names for their future children. Suddenly, he hears intruders entering their house. Wade quickly tells Vanessa to hide behind the sofa. A group of goons burst in and begin shooting, but Wade grabs a knife from a nearby stand and starts throwing it at the attackers, killing them one by one. After the fight, Wade tells Vanessa to stay hidden, but the last goon returns and tries to shoot Deadpool. Wade throws another knife, but he's too late. Vanessa is fatally shot. Enraged, Deadpool chases the fleeing goon through the streets. During the pursuit, they both run into the path of an oncoming truck, resulting in a collision. Wade Wilson, aka Deadpool, has immortality and the ability to heal rapidly, so while the enemy dies in the collision, Deadpool remains unharmed. Despite avenging Vanessa's death, he blames himself for her loss. Overwhelmed by guilt, Deadpool repeatedly tries to kill himself, jumping off buildings, shooting himself, and even causing explosions, but his immortality prevents him from dying. The scene then shifts back to the start of the movie with the explosion. Deadpool's body parts are scattered, but he is transported to a place where he sees Vanessa. Vanessa tells him that he is not on the right path. The scene then shows Colossus arriving at Deadpool's house, gathering his body parts, putting them in a sack, and taking them to Xavier's school for gifted youngsters. The story then moves to a mutant school where a boy named Russell is introduced. The principal reassures Russell that everything will be fine and that he is in good hands. Deadpool's body completely heals, making him physically new again, but he remains deeply sad. Colossus approaches him and asks why he's so down, urging him to move on. Deadpool confesses that while he has avenged his girlfriend's death by killing her murderers, he still feels responsible for her death. He reveals that the one person he can't kill is himself because of his healing ability, which traps him in immortality. Colossus reassures him, saying that although Deadpool wanted a family, the X-Men school can be his family. If he considers them as such, they can support each other and work together. Touched by these words, Deadpool gets emotional and decides to stay at the school. In the next scene, a man named Cable arrives at a house, finding it in disarray with 2 burned bodies and a donkey. Furious, Cable activates a time travel device, setting it to the past. Meanwhile, Negasonic Teenage Warhead talks to Yukio, mentioning that while Wade is physically present with them, his mind seems elsewhere, still troubled by his past. Wade overhears and insists that he has fully embraced the Xavier School, both in heart and mind. Deadpool tells everyone that they are his family and that he belongs to them just as they belong to him. He acknowledges that he has learned a lot from them and promises to be a better X-Men. Just then, Colossus arrives and upon hearing Wade's words, feels proud and happy. He is satisfied with his decision to bring Wade to the school, hoping to help him become a better person. Seeing Wade's transformation brings Colossus a sense of accomplishment. The scene shifts to the mutant school, where the children are gathered in an auditorium. The principal addresses them, explaining that while they all possess unique powers, they don't yet know how to control or properly use them. This lack of control often leads to unintended harm. As a result, the principal declares that he will restrict their use of powers to prevent further damage. If they misuse their abilities, there will be severe consequences. The principal then focuses on Russell, subjecting him to pain with some machines in front of everyone. The principal begins to administer electric shocks to Russell with his machines, warning the other students that if they use their powers, they will suffer the same fate as Russell. Meanwhile, Colossus approaches Deadpool and informs him of an urgent mission they must undertake together. On TV, a news report shows Russell, distressed by the school's harsh treatment, causing a scene and blowing up the cars of 2 police officers. The X-Men team, including Colossus, Deadpool, Negasonic Teenage Warhead, and Yukio, arrives at the scene. However, the police and media have already gathered there. We learn that Russell possesses powerful abilities, including the ability to create blasts with his hands. As the police move to apprehend him, Deadpool steps in and insists that the situation can be resolved peacefully through dialogue. Deadpool approaches Russell directly and asks him why he is attacking everyone. Russell explains that the principal is very cruel and torments the children daily, showing Deadpool the marks of his abuse. Upon seeing the marks, Deadpool realizes the severity of the situation. He pulls out his gun and confronts the principal, principal, but they are both subdued and fitted with power-dampening collars that nullify their abilities. They are then taken to a prison called the Icebox, where mutants are held captive. With the collar on, Deadpool's hidden cancer resurfaces, making him weak and exhausted. He finds a corner to sit in, where Russell joins him. Russell starts talking to Deadpool, expressing his guilt. He blames himself for their current predicament, admitting that he never stood up for himself and always hoped someone else would fight for him, but that never happened. Russell declares that once he escapes the prison, he will kill the principal responsible for his imprisonment. Later, both he and Deadpool head to the dining area. Just then, Cable arrives and confronts Russell. Deadpool intervenes to protect Russell, prompting Cable to question why he's helping him. Deadpool responds that, although he doesn't know Russell personally, he can't allow Cable to kill him. An intense battle ensues. Cable reveals that he is from the future and has traveled back in time on a specific mission. He warns Deadpool to stay out of his way if he wants to save his life, and before leaving, he takes the coin that Vanessa had given Deadpool. Determined, Deadpool attempts to fight Cable again. During the fight, Deadpool pulls out a bomb from his jacket, leading to a massive explosion. Both he and Cable fall from the jail, and Deadpool lands in the water. For a moment, it seems like Deadpool might have perished. Deadpool finds himself in the world where he often converses with Vanessa. He tells her that despite his efforts to be a hero, including joining the X-Men and saving Russell, she is still not with him. Vanessa advises him that to truly do something good, he needs to save Russell's life, as these children are the ones who bind them all together. Deadpool then returns to his reality. Wade visits his old friend Weasel, a bartender, and explains that while he couldn't save Vanessa, he is determined to save Russell from the mutant prison. Weasel informs Wade that the police are planning to relocate all the mutants because the prison wall is damaged. Wade sees this as an opportunity to free Russell during the transport. Wade realizes that this mission will be challenging and that they will need a full team. They begin recruiting to assemble their team. Meanwhile, Cable is in his room, working on creating a new weapon by combining all his gear, which he intends to use in the future. Russell in prison befriends a fellow inmate and explains that if they work together they can escape. Berlin, who can control electrical fields, Lygus, whose poisonous breath can melt iron, Vanisher, who can disappear at will, and Domino, who has extraordinary luck and can influence outcomes in her favor. Cheated Star, a being from another world with impressive powers, joins the team, as well as Peter, a regular guy with no powers, whom Deadpool recruits despite his lack of abilities. Together, they form a new team called X-Force. The following day, the police transport the prisoners in trucks to a new facility. Deadpool and his team are on a plane, planning how to intercept the trucks and rescue Russell. They jump from the plane, aiming to land behind the trucks. Due to a faulty landing and poor technique, most of the X-Force members are killed. Only Domino survives thanks to her extraordinary luck. Meanwhile, Cable arrives at the trucks ahead of Deadpool. Using his power, he breaks open the back door of one truck and searches for Russell, intending to kill him. Fortunately for the team, Domino, with her lucky power, lands inside the very truck where Cable is searching for Russell. As soon as Domino discovers Cable inside the truck, she uses her luck to leap out of the truck and engages in a fierce battle with him. The fight between them is intense, with Cable proving to be very powerful. Just when Cable is about to kill Domino, Deadpool arrives and saves her from certain death. Meanwhile, Russell manages to use a technique to open the cell door and escape. Before leaving, he also frees a massive mutant named Juggernaut. Upon emerging, Juggernaut delivers a powerful punch that overturns the entire truck. Deadpool shouts at Russell, questioning why he freed Juggernaut. Enraged, Russell orders Juggernaut to remove Deadpool from his path. Juggernaut complies by tearing Deadpool in half. Russell then declares that he no longer needs Deadpool, as he now has a powerful ally in Juggernaut who will always support him. After Russell and Juggernaut escape, and they prepare for the next battle. Just then, Cable arrives, surprising everyone. However, instead of attacking, Cable seeks Deadpool's help. Cable explains that he comes from the future, where he has a family, his wife and young daughter. In his timeline, Russell burned his entire family. Cable is determined to seek revenge, as Russell will grow up to become a murderous mutant who will kill anyone who crosses his path. Cable believes that if Russell commits his first murder today, he will be fueled by bloodlust and become a monster. Cable argues that he could have handled the situation alone but needs Deadpool's help now because of Juggernaut's power. Deadpool, however, refuses to assist in killing Russell. Instead, he offers to help by trying to convince Russell to change his ways, hoping that if they can stop him from killing, it might alter the future for the better. Deadpool convinces Cable to agree to his plan, aiming to prevent Russell from becoming a dangerous mutant in the future. To tackle Juggernaut, Deadpool seeks help from the X-Men. Despite his plea, Colossus initially refuses to join, but Deadpool, Cable, and Domino proceed to confront Juggernaut. An epic battle ensues. Despite their best efforts, Deadpool, Cable, and Domino struggle against Juggernaut's immense strength. Juggernaut throws Deadpool aside, but Colossus arrives just in time to engage in a fierce duel with Juggernaut. Their clash is intense, with both combatants using their full power to try and defeat the other. Security guards from the school arrive, adding to the chaos. As the fight continues, Russell infiltrates the school and uses his fire powers to start burning it down. Domino Domino races to evacuate the children, ensuring their safety from the spreading flames. Amidst the turmoil, Negasonic Teenage Warhead arrives. She unleashes a powerful blast, which forces Juggernaut to retreat. The school suffers significant destruction from Russell's rampage, with the fire and the ongoing battle causing widespread damage. Russell, poised to kill the principal, is confronted by Deadpool, who pleads with him to reconsider. Deadpool argues that if Russell kills the principal, he will only become like him, heartless and cruel. Deadpool embraces Russell and tries to persuade him with a heartfelt gesture, but Russell, still driven by anger, uses his powers to throw Deadpool aside. Determined to protect Russell from becoming a monster, Deadpool decides to use the mutant-suppressing scarf around his neck. He approaches Russell and offers himself as a target, telling him to kill him instead. Meanwhile, Cable arrives and aims to shoot Russell, but Deadpool leaps in front of the bullet, taking the shot meant for Russell. The bullet penetrates Deadpool's body, which surprisingly helps calm Russell's rage. Seeing this, Cable is deeply moved and reflects on the bloodstains from his daughter's death, which are linked to his quest for vengeance. The situation becomes emotionally charged as Deadpool's sacrifice impacts everyone involved. The bloodstains on Cable's teddy bear begin to fade, and he acknowledges Deadpool's crucial role in preventing the tragedy. He starts to remove the belt from his neck that suppresses mutant powers, but is stopped by Deadpool, who speaks to everyone with deep emotion. As Deadpool succumbs to his injuries, he finds himself in the afterlife, where Vanessa greets him. Though she is pleased to see him, Vanessa tells him it is not yet time for them to be together. She urges him to return to the X-Men who need him now. Cable, with one final use of his time-traveling device, decides not to return to his original timeline. Instead, he travels back to the moment when the bullet was about to hit Russell. This time, the bullet strikes the coin that Vanessa had given Deadpool, saving his life. In the film's conclusion, the prevailing theme of cursing and abusing everyone is contrasted by a happier resolution when Dopinder arrives with his taxi, leading to a joyful ending. This unique approach sets the stage for an unusual aspect of the film. A total of 5 post-credit scenes, a first in movie history. The first post-credit scene features Yukio and Negasonic Teenage Warhead working together to repair the time travel device, which will now be used by Deadpool. This device had been central to the plot, and its repair is crucial for future events.